I will now call to order the regular meeting of council for Tuesday, April 7th, 2015. Delegations and presentations. We did have a call from Mr. Marty McElrath from Unifor, who would like to present to us tonight. So, Marty, if you could please proceed to the front desk.
Thank you. I guess to start with, what we need to get to the bottom of is why on February 25th, when our union provided the municipal manager an offer to settle with the statement that we were willing to keep working and not have to withdraw our services, our workers wouldn't have to withdraw their services, why was that not communicated to council until March 16th? Council never got to see our offer to settle until March 16th, and we need to know why. We need to know why that happened. So, I mean, obviously, we've heard the statements from the municipal manager and the media and yourself where you deny that, but we know it to be true. So we need to know why council never got to see the offer to settle. Because I mean, if you look at the way things have played out, council wasn't willing to continue bargaining. You never got to see our offer to settle. Our members, your employees, all members of this community were out on the streets from February 28th to March 16th. March 16th is the first time council got to see our offer to settle. How is that possible?
Would you like me to answer that?
Yes.
Absolutely. The union's claim that that settlement was hidden from council is not true at all. On February the 25th, our negotiating committee met with you. You guys closed your meeting somewhere around just before noon. At 5:30 that evening, council had a special meeting and met. At that meeting, all the changes, all the updates that were in your offer to settle were given to us. We were fully addressed at that meeting of what they were. Did anybody on council actually look at the whole document? No, we didn't ask for it. We asked, give us an update. So there was a misunderstanding there. I phoned every councilor last night and asked them, and everybody agrees, yes, we were updated at that meeting of what was in your settlement offer on that night.
3 of your councilors communicated to me that they never seen our offer to settle. One of them said they didn't even see our original package from December 1st. So from that point, when we basically, from February 25th, when we were trying to engage and get bargaining going and all the things to keep working towards, but as you know, 2 months past an agreement, or 2 months past the expiry of our previous agreement, we had to take matters into our own hands. So after we went out, council, you guys weren't doing anything to try and get the parties back together, so myself and Jeremy went to councilors' houses, tried to track them down to find out information, to engage them individually, to try and bring this thing back together. So 3 of the councilors that we spoke to that day all said they hadn't seen the offer to settle. And then so on March 16th, when we participated as spectators here, where we didn't make a presentation, And you guys had your in-camera meeting afterwards to have your labor relations discussions. On our way out, one of those counselors said, tonight we're finally going to get to see your offer to settle. So how does that happen? How does that happen where you guys have said that you're given direction for bargaining? How can you give direction for bargaining if you haven't seen our offer to settle? It doesn't make sense. That's negligence. That's negligence on the part of the municipal manager, and that's negligence on your guys' part, because you guys have the responsibility for this community.
I don't know how many different ways I can tell you, Marty. They updated us that night. Did anybody look at the actual 40, 50-page document, whatever it was? No. They updated us on whatever changes were there from what previous days of negotiations had been, period. We were updated that night.
Don't you think that it's your responsibility to go over and thoroughly vet that offer? Don't you think that that's part of your responsibility to this community? And now 2.5 weeks, people are out on strike and you haven't even looked at the offer? So you got an update from the same people who we've been skeptical the whole time that don't even understand the offer, based on the conversations that we've had at the table. So how can you take responsibility for bargaining when you didn't even look at our offer to settle? You didn't even look at that offer to settle.
The offer was looked at, Marty.
It
We
wasn't
were
looked at.
updated.
You were
Okay.
updated based on what?
Based on people who have done many
You
different
didn't read it.
negotiations before.
Phil,
We were
you've taken
updated.
responsibility for bargaining, and you guys didn't even look at our offer to settle. You didn't even look at it. How is that possible? That's 19 days.
Point of order, please.
That's 19 days.
Okay, you're here to actually present something, not question us and go back and forth, so please carry on.
Well, we want
This
to
is
go
a
back to
delegation
work.
and a presentation.
Okay, so what I'd like to, do is just bear with us for a second. Yeah. So, this is probably a little bit strange, but what we would like to do is we would like to walk through the outstanding items in our offer to settle, and we want to see from mayor and council, give us rationale of why you're opposed to this. All right,
This is
what
not
we
a
want to
question
know.
period, Marty. You can present, we
Yeah.
can answer back later or through staff,
Well,
but
But
you're not gonna
you guys
question us.
want to, you guys talk about being a transparent municipal government, who's accountable, what is it, transparency and accountability. So what's more transparent than, let's go through this process right now and you guys can tell us which ones you have a problem with.
Sorry, we're not gonna do that.
We'll read through them.
I'll get my next vote, that's for sure.
So, Article 1, this is what we're asking to move into, the objective into Article 1. So the existing language is the objective of this agreement is to promote, continue, and improve the existing harmonious relations, cooperation, delivery of service, economic relationship, and understanding between the District of Kitimat, or the district and its employees, and to provide a basis of mutual understanding on conditions of employment, hours of work, and rates of pay, for facilitating the prompt, fair, reasonable, and peaceful settlement of disputes or grievances. The people of the District of Kitimat with the highest standard of municipal operations and services obtainable through the most economic and efficient administration of the affairs of the district for the promotion of the morale, well-being, and security of all employees in the bargaining unit. So we've added new language into this, and the reason for it was because the district was violating the collective agreement in a number of areas, and then telling us that it was a past practice that the union was never aware of. So originally what we put in was language to say, you know, if basically if the district comes up with something that says that there's a past practice that the parties weren't in agreement with and they've instituted it, that there would have to be some inconsequential damages. But obviously that wasn't going to go anywhere, as we've seen after a couple of months of talking to a wall. So what we've done is changed this language to, therefore the District of Kitimat and the Union mutually agree as follows: shared values. Representatives from the District and the Union developed and agreed to a set of shared values. These 3 shared values are as follows: honesty. We will be truthful in our intentions and actions. We will have a relationship based on candid and respectful communication. We will do what we say we will do. Integrity. We will take responsibility for our actions. We will follow through on our commitments. We will not take unfair advantage of each other. Trust. We are committed to act with integrity and honesty. We will hold ourselves accountable for our actions. We will not pass judgment without discussion. Both parties have agreed to live by these shared values. They reflect how we conduct ourselves, and we are committed to holding ourselves and each other accountable. So why was this rejected? Right? It only seems right that both parties would agree to that. Why was that rejected?
Carry on. Yes.
Answer the question.
Point of order.
Excuse me.
Mayor, point of order, please.
Council provides direction to our negotiating committee and sets the parameters. Council is not the bargaining group, and you're not, I hope you're not going to spend.
That's the real mayor talking?
Excuse me, council speaking. Councilor, all of us got elected in a few months ago.
Yeah.
And you may not like it, and we
Yeah,
may-
you're not coming back.
That's right, that's very
Yeah.
possible. But in the meantime, we have a negotiating committee, we have a procedure to follow, and it's not my intention to listen all night long. Do you go through all 80 items? They
No,
were
the board
presented to us many times.
There's 33 items.
33.
Okay, you know you had 10 minutes, you were told that yesterday, we'll give you a few extra. But
Well,
we're not gonna sit here all
I
night.
figured that you would give us some extra time. I mean, seeing how I think the negligence from this room is the reason why there's people that are in their 6th week on strike without a job right now.
So, for clarification, it was the union that decided to go on strike. We did not force a strike.
But you didn't take us up on our offer to keep working. You didn't take us up on our offer to keep working through it, and you didn't actually, the council didn't actually look at our package until March 16th.
No, we had
No, that's
updated
not-
that night, so we can go back and forth all night with that.
Well, we can. So, because we have a limited amount of time, I want to just, I guess, cut to something that I feel really affects our whole community, and this is contracting out. So, what I'd like to do is read over the contracting out demand that we have. So the existing language is, yes, 2901. The existing language is where the district introduces or intends to introduce contracting out of any work or services which includes any regionalization or assumption of work by another level of government, the following conditions shall apply. A regular employee shall not be laid off or denied recall as a consequence of the introduction of contracting out. A regular employee who is affected by contracting out and requires new or greater skills shall receive priority for new training to maintain his or her job security with the district. Such training shall be at the expense of the district, and there shall be no reduction in pay. And C, a regular employee who is demoted or whose job classification is devalued as a consequence of contracting out shall not suffer any reduction in pay. Such an employee shall be, we've changed that from red circling to grandparented, and shall receive regular wage increases. So information on contracting out on 2903. In January of each year after the adoption of the provisional budget, the district shall provide the union with details of work expected to be contracted during the year. In addition, the district will provide the union with a detailed account of all costs associated with contracting out from the previous year. The union may, at its option, meet with the district representatives to review specified items in detail, discuss the reasons for the selected method of service delivery, discuss the financial and operational considerations, and consider more effective alternatives to contracting out, including possible collective agreement amendments. During the year, the district shall advise the union of any intention to contract out any functions normally done by members of the bargaining unit with the aim to allow the union input. The union may at its option meet with the district representatives to review the proposed contracting out in detail, discuss the reasons for the selected method of service delivery, discuss the financial and operational considerations, and consider more effective alternatives to contracting out, including possible collective agreement amendments. This process is not intended to interfere with or delay district work, but to provide a forum for open communications and exploring alternate proposals. So what we've added there too is that for union rates for contracting out, is every contract allowed according to the scope of this article shall be subject to the condition that workers, tradespeople, equipment operators, artisans, and laborers in the employ of the contractor, subcontractor, or other person doing or contracting to do the whole or any part of during the continuance of the work be paid at least such wages and remuneration as are generally accepted as union rates for that particular occupation in Kitimat. In any event, such rates shall not be less than those contained in this agreement. Every contractor, subcontractor, or other person shall comply with such conditions and shall be bound to pay such remuneration. Reference to this article will be made in the tender package. So this article right here is directly tied to Letter of Agreement 7. And Letter of Agreement 7 is, in the existing language, is basically where the bargaining unit themselves are guaranteed not to be laid off by name during the set of, or the term of this agreement. But we've seen since this letter's been in place, and part of that comes with a restriction that's basically a gag order where we can't question any contracting out at all. And we look at it and we think since that letter came into place, that contracting out's really run rampant in our community and it's affected the services in town. We see the services eroding in front of our eyes, and nothing highlighted it more than the recent snowstorm. So in the snowstorm you could see that we don't have the equipment to keep up with it, we don't have the manpower to keep up with it, and what we're trying to do is really, we've taken the responsibility of protecting our community to say that, no, we're not going to say it's just our names that are protected, it's actually the positions that are protected, so that if somebody retires, the district will replace that position, because we've seen over the years, there's a number of positions that have reduced. So we're down to 59 positions, I believe, district-wide, and that there's only 21 down in the yard? 21 people down in the yard to take care of the whole community. So you see that number has gone down over the years, but we have more infrastructure, we have new streets, and we have aging infrastructure that needs to be taken care of. So for our job security letter, the District of Kitimat agrees that the following minimum numbers of full-time positions shall be maintained. All positions will be maintained with the current incumbents. Any additional people required to fill these positions will be selected as per Article 15 of the Collective Labor Agreement. Any additional hours vacant after the required positions have been filled will be distributed to the non-full-time bargaining unit employees as per the Collective Labor Agreement. After the three conditions listed above have been met, the District of Kitimat may hire summer students as per Letter of Agreement 3. The overall minimum numbers of full-time positions shall be maintained at 90 bargaining unit positions. If there is a legitimate business reason to shift any specific number from one position to another, the request will not be unreasonably denied by either party. If there is an economic catastrophe within the local tax structure, the district and union will meet to discuss the appropriate measures needed to mitigate any possible negative impacts. So we've listed out, we went through and looked at the whole district operation, and we took into consideration all of the hours of the operation and the existing positions and tried to come up with a number that of what it really takes when you're not contracting everything out in the city and you're not relying on summer students and hiring casuals every winter to perform regular work of our community. So these are the numbers that we've come up with, and we want to know what your issue is with those numbers. So I want to go out and get into the contracting out list, please. So as you can see, this is so as you can see, this is the kind of work that's been contracted out over the last couple of decades. Is concrete sidewalk reconstruction, line painting, sidewalk painting, stop bar painting, electrical work at recreation, even though we have a couple of electricians, concrete pad installation, electrical work at water sewer operations, recreation gardening, tree planting, trail clearing and maintenance, weed eating of ball fields, aerating all around town, Chamber of Commerce snow removal and grass cutting, garbage dump covering and compaction, cutting firewood for Hirsch Creek and Radley Park, replacement of new ballasts at recreation, flagging of the bridge, fertilizing of ball fields, interlocking brickwork, spring cleanup, fire hall gardening, mountable curb and gutter repair, replacement of municipal building doors, even though we have a carpenter, very skilled one, garbage pickup, residential and commercial, door key and lock repair, carpentry work at recreation, paving, asphalt patches, mill writing for river pump houses, ball field maintenance, parking lot snow clearing, loops and lights, aerating the ball fields, that might be a repeat, tree cutting, branch removal, pruning, high ab work, bridge repair, top dressing of fields, landscaping, watering of hanging baskets, boulevard gravel recovery, wall type curb and gutter repair, replacement of municipal building windows, river toilets, and then some additions. There's plywood panel that costed $3,000 for repair. Repair was because work was done by the contractor. The contractor couldn't come back to do the repair on the work that he was already paid for, so then our carpenter had to go in and fix the plywood. The climbing wall at the center was contracted out. Weather stripping at River Lodge, the senior workout area, youth center kitchen, the heated ramp, River Lodge kitchen and countertops, handicap door openers, no parts list after they leave. This is stuff that contractors have screwed up. Wooden floor community room, that had to do repair after they were gone. Wooden floors on insurance claims, KIR door installations, painting contractors are hiring students, broken pipes on Tamatic after contractors are gone, no permits for work, no one for deck work, I guess, and all work done at the fire hall, overhead doors and stuff. These are all the things that have been contracted out. Our guys end up having to go back in and repair these things, but you guys have, or over the years between, I don't even would say if it's council, but in between administration is, we really see the number of employees have dwindled where we can't keep up with the work and the services that are required to run our city. So really, we've watched this and we can no longer sit by and agree that this is acceptable. So things have to change. So this is one of those big items that it's really protection for our community that we, as our union members, one of the reasons we're, I guess, having to suffer out in the streets while you guys are sitting saving more money for your budget, and we're sitting and watch these erosion of services before our eyes, and we're not going to put up with it anymore, and neither is the rest of this community. So, Phil, we've said this to you guys before, and you still haven't taken us up on this offer. Is we need whether it be, well, I'd like for it to be one of you people at this table as a witness at the bargaining table to see actually how your administration behaves. So they really haven't rolled up their sleeves and done the work. So I know you're gonna, and yes, Mary, it is a two-way street, you're right. And on Friday, we threw them out of our building, and not so politely, and rightfully so, is when we spend all of the work putting together an offer to settle, which we think is a great offer to settle. We withdrew a number of demands, we restructured our demands, we did what we could to what we figure resolves the issues and still provides both sides with some comfort, but resolves the issues. And on the Friday, which would be 3 days later, the district administration responds, the municipal manager doesn't come, and you come back with 2 items. And, you know, based on what you said the night before, just tweaks, we got tweaks. So you come back with 2 items, and at first, you know, it said that, well, we only have the mandate to discuss these 2 items. And so we want to get into the discussions on those 2 items, because as I showed you that minimums positions list, and we explained at the table, you know, how we came up with 90, right? Maybe 90's high. Like, let's get into the discussion of why 90's high. And how did you guys come up with the number of 10, right? What did you guys use as your rationale for that? That's what bargaining's about. You figure those things out. Nope, don't want to discuss it. Can't discuss it, the number is 10. So then we, you know, try to go back to what we just read to you in the objective. Well, tell us what's the problem with the objective. Well, we just didn't prepare anything for that right now. Well, which is it? Either you don't have a mandate to do it or you didn't prepare it. This is the problem we're having at the table, right? So obviously things become heated at this point because we think we're in front of dishonest people. They're just not being forthright with us. So things became heated, and if you guys can't respect the fact that people were willing to walk off the job for working conditions, then get the hell out of our building. Because talking to you people is like talking to a wall, right? So where do we go from here? Do we go government intervention? What do we do? There has to be somebody that comes to the table that holds these people accountable for their actions. I have no problem explaining every demand to anybody who wants to listen, and that might be where we go. Maybe we go have a town hall that we initiate, and we get the community to come in and listen to all of our demands, because, you know, this battle that we've been having with administration has been brutal. And if it's you guys directing it, well, I say shame on you guys, because the proper, I mean, I know, you know, I think maybe Councillor Goffney and certainly Councillor Murphy have sat through negotiations before. And negotiations is about addressing each other's issues and having full discussions on them. There's still a number of things you can't get them to talk about. So that's not good faith bargaining. So we need to do something here. Something needs to change where we are able to bring closure to this labor dispute so our town isn't suffering, and certainly so our members stop suffering. So far, for this whole time, through bargaining and through this labor dispute, it has been our union that has initiated any bit of progress the whole way, where we had to go to, you know, your guys' houses. I've gone to your place of business a number of times to try and get you guys engaged. That way I would hope that you would come back and give that direction for somewhere we can move closer to an agreement. And you guys haven't done anything. The only times that you guys have done anything is when we're putting the pressure on you. So we need for you guys to start participating in this bargaining, not waiting for us to initiate it. Start participating in the bargaining, because yes, it is a two-way street. And right now we have over 100 families suffering right now. And I think that suffering is because of negligence at this table.
We heard your video yesterday about the mentioning mediation. We will be discussing that later tonight. Our final offer that we put out on February the 23rd, I believe it was, somewhere in there, we stand behind that. We thought that was a very fair offer to get the workers back at work.
Well, I could just tell you this then. What would be the point of mediation if you think that, if you're standing behind that offer? Because that doesn't obviously get you a collective agreement. Hence, we're on the 6th week of a strike. So that wasn't a good offer to settle. So what would be the point in going to mediation if you're not going to move off of that position? What you need to do is recognize the issues, and let's find language that addresses the issues. Obviously, the issues are important enough to our members that they're willing to go out on strike for. So how do we mitigate the issues? We told you before, we put together the language for it. We're not married to that language. We're certainly willing to listen to language from you guys. So far, the language that you've provided hasn't adequately addressed it, And definitely, when you don't provide language or even discussion on the issues, it isn't going to address it. So if you think that mediation is going to solve anything, or is it just going to buy you more time so that you can save more money for your budget? I don't know what the point is. You've got to get off your high horse on that particular final offer, as you called it, was what you thought was a good offer, because it's not. It's garbage. Do we have to start going by your houses and by your businesses again, or are we going to get somewhere here? What are we going to do from here?
We will discuss other options tonight, mediation, arbitration, whatever
How about just
possibilities might be
showing up
out there to
at the
try and
table?
get this solved.
How about actually
We want
bargaining?
these people back at work too. We have bargained, money. It's a two-sided story here, okay? You can put your side out, we're not gonna go there.
You're up.
Let's
Hang
go.
on, but
You've had 25 minutes now.
Hang on a second, though. Hang on a
Hey,
second.
point of order, please.
Hang on a second,
Mr.
Phil. The whole point is that you haven't been
I
bargaining
can't-
because you haven't been at the table to see it. So when we came into exchange
Look, Marty, you can
objectives,
say we haven't been bargaining, okay?
I am
Every
saying-
one of your members haven't been at the table either. They're hearing what you're telling them.
but they're hearing what
No,
6
we're
other
hearing
people
what
are telling
you
So
us.
we're hearing what our bargaining team tells us too.
So
And
maybe we should
trust
start
them.
releasing the minutes.
Well, do what you gotta
Maybe
do,
is that what
Marty.
we should start doing? Because you guys actually haven't even spent time in bargaining. You know, to date that we have what? Is it 78 hours?
70 hours.
To date, okay, to date, from December 1st, when we exchange packages, we've spent a total of 78 and a half hours actually at the table. 35 meetings, 78 and a half hours at the table, because you guys aren't willing to negotiate. You guys just sit there and say, nope, 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 it's working for us, nope. So how can you say that you've bargained in good faith? You actually haven't even bargained.
Yeah.
All the numbers, right here. These are all the numbers.
Thank you for your
You guys should be
presentation.
ashamed of yourselves and honestly, you guys should resign, and you should definitely resign.
Re-elect John Monahan.
Unbelievable.
You cannot handle the resign, man.
It's shameful.
Another thing, we definitely don't appreciate that the language that we put together for apprenticeship, training, safety, etc. That those things that you seem to be and the elimination part of part-time work. That stuff that we put together there, that took a tremendous cost from the membership here, from our union dues to develop that language. We've paid a tremendous cost on the street. It's very painful, it's very disconcerting, and it's very disappointing, especially in somebody that we did advocate for his mayorship. When you come into the media,
Jeremy,
when
you guys
listen,
were given 10
when you
minutes,
come
we've
into the
given you an
media
extra
and
20
you claim
minutes.
that they
Put everybody out in the streets, you can do it.
No,
Listen,
it's been 39 days, my friend.
Listen, you didn't
Time.
offer us anything. Listen to this. We offered you, in the absence of safety language in the District of Kitimat, we offered it to you. We offered you comprehensive language. In the absence of training language in the District of Kitimat, we offered you comprehensive training language, etc., etc., etc. The remainder is still there to be seen. You guys did not offer that to us. You may be agreeing in part to elements of it. There's a lot
After
to
we
be
went on
addressed.
strike.
After we went on strike. We were on strike, then you agreed to portions of our safety and training. That is unacceptable. That should have been dealt with by your managers during the work term. Why does the union have to do the work of administration and pay a price on the street and have to come and do this for you to recognize there's a problem?
And then you say to the media,
Can you brief? Okay.
My name is Rick Belmont. I'm president of Local 2301 for the unionized workers at the smelter, and I also hold a position on the Kitimat Terrace District Labor Council on the executive. Now, early in this dispute, I guess I'll call it, I wrote a letter to the paper, and I tried not to be insultive or point fingers or too much in there. But you know, what I was trying to say is to get through a successful set of bargaining, it requires a lot of work. It's not a case of saying no, it's a process. I've been through 7 sets of bargaining, 5 as spokesperson, and I might say all 7 of them we were successful in securing a collective agreement. And that took work. That took every minute that we had for 3 months, constantly talking, meeting at least 8 hours a day. That is not what I'm hearing here. What I'm hearing here, and I've followed it close on the union side, I mean, I don't suppose you would let me be your caucus, but I followed it close on this side, and I tell you, they've been working their hearts out, trying to rearrange, reword, trying to get your bargaining team back to the table. It's not about who has the bigger balls here, eh? Let's put that aside now, eh? We're into a situation where we have over 100 families that have been without a paycheck for a number of weeks, eh? So that's what it's about. It's about getting an agreement. We have failed at this point. Your bargaining committee has failed you by it ended up on a strike. So I have been through 7 sets of bargaining, and there isn't one set of bargaining that the plant manager hasn't had to come in. To a greater degree in some sets than others. But there isn't one set that at the final part of the table, when they came to an agreement, and we were a lot closer to an agreement when we got to the doorstep of a strike than this dispute was. There wasn't one set that the manager didn't come in. The town council sits in a managerial position in this particular dispute. Obviously, your committee, for whatever reason, I'm not going to say they're good, bad, or indifferent, whatever they're doing hasn't worked. So what I'm asking you to do, and I asked in that letter, is yourself, Mr. Mayor, sit in on that table. Have a couple of representatives from your council. Sit and figure who you're going to have representing them. Sit in there and enter into debate. You will, if there's no discussion, there's no possibility of resolving anything. These things that I see there on the table are about human things. They're about recognizing service. I mean, if I don't know if you took the time to see some of those statements on the internet, but my God, I didn't even realize that. 21 years and you're still part-time? I can't believe, you know, and these are real stories. These are real people. Could you imagine? Look at the dedication there for a part-time job. Can you imagine what kind of dedication you'd have with them, those people if you were be able to offer them full-time employment? Unbelievable. You've got the dedication. You've got the good people. You've got the experience. But you've let the full-time, usually it's a core group, and your larger group is a core group of full-time people, and you supplement that with spares. I've been dealing with corporations for years, and what I see is a corporate mentality coming into this town. We're not running a corporation. We're running a town that the wages are paid by taxpayers, and a lot of my members are taxpayers, and I'm a taxpayer. And believe me, I don't pay my taxes to have those people treated like that. Closing off, I say, look at what's happened up till now. Leave it. It's water under the bridge. Get involved. I'm asking the council to put representatives at the table, sit down, engage in discussion, because that's the only way you're going to solve anything. Some of these things, just one last point, some of these things, they take time, not just in bargaining. They take time in between collective agreements, like having a harassment policy, like having anti-bullying policies and procedures to deal with these things. You know, put your manager, let him earn his money. Yeah. It takes that relationship have a workforce that's satisfied. Satisfies these workers by having those sort of policies in place. Satisfy them by giving them a fair collective agreement, and satisfy them by showing that commitment to the long-time service by opening up some full-time positions for them as well. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. You would like to speak? Is it going to be brief, Mr. Morrow?
It's going to be very brief,
Okay.
Mr. Mayor and Council.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Francesco Mauro. Everybody calls me Frank, resident of 107 Smith in Kitimat, and 56 years resident in this community. Also a retired employee of the District of Kitimat after 35 and a half years. I have a couple questions to ask to yourself, because you made brief comments, and also Mr. Poole.
Mr. Morrow, this is not a question and
No,
answer
no, I'd
session.
just like to
Okay, you
make
can
this
pose the question. Okay.
couple comments. When Mr. Hall left, his salary was $163,000. Mr. Poole come in into our residence, he picked up the salary, and now, at the end of 2013, which I got it from your letterheads on the computer, he makes $214,000. The other thing, you said, hang on a minute, I would like to finish. I have a statement here from the computer. Mr. Hall, Mr. Poole is number 7 on world leaders, which lead nations. Mr. Warren is number 9. The poor guy in Italy makes 124. The poor guy that manages all India makes 30,300. I'd like to know how you guys justify my taxes in the last 3 years.
Yes.
I've been raised $850, and you guys promote people to retire here in this community.
200, Frank. We looked.
$850 my taxes have been
We
retired.
looked.
You know,
We looked. 200.
$850. I used to pay $15.50, and I still got the form because I am one of a paper keeper, and if I have to come and prove it to each individual, I will prove it. I've been called a liar by Mr. Poole because I had an interview with the station, and I quote things from here. I'm not a liar, because I quote only what you guys put out in the press. How can you figure that Mr. Poole is working on the world agenda, number 7? And our community tax service have been cutting down. I worked for the city for 35. We used to have 5 graders, 5 blowers, and so on and so forth, and 60 people working and doing the proper job. Our drainage system is poor because they haven't got enough work to maintain. I would like to thank you, and think about, Mr. Mayor, I did give you my vote, and that'll be the last time if I ever stay in this community, and I will do the
We would take a 2-minute break, or would everybody like to stick around for the rest of the meeting? If you want to stay, we will keep going.
What, no response? You have nothing to say? We'd like to hear from the counselors. We'd like to hear some feedback.
If you guys are done, I will make a statement,
Yes,
but
please.
then that's the last one, okay?
What about having the counselors make a statement?
No, I will give the statement and we will call it, okay?
Are you
We
counselors?
do have the rest of the meeting to get on with here. Both sides, the union and the district, need to take their share of responsibility for what's happened the last 30-plus years. Mayor and council met with the union as a show of good faith and to hear from you what the issues are. We listened and gave staff direction on issues we wanted resolved. In large, the same issues expressed in recent videos. 1, the number of temporary part-time workers in leisure services. We realized that the ratio of part-time to full-time workers was too high. So we have committed to transitioning 10 part-time workers to full-time over the next 2 years. 6 this year, 4 next year. 2, the videos and our meetings with the union also highlighted safety and training deficiencies. To address this, we have committed to engaging the services of an occupational health and safety officer to review and make recommendations to improve our policies, procedures, and training. Opportunities for existing employees to have first rights to permanent and temporary job postings before going outside. We have also committed to a joint union District of Kitimat committee to look at training opportunities so our employees will be prepared when those jobs open up. We have also agreed to increases in many premiums and allowances, including dental, eye care, most types of therapy, boots, dirty pay, and some shift premiums. And of course, a wage increase of 2.5 in each of the 3 years. This ensures that our municipal workers will remain in the top 2 province-wide in their wages during the terms of this collective agreement. We are not ashamed or embarrassed in any way to present this offer to our municipal employees to vote on. This is a commitment to further movement on issues important to our workforce. No other collective agreement in the history of the District of Kitimat has done this much. We feel we are taking our share of responsibility for the past. However, the union must also accept their share of responsibility in addressing employee discontent. The history of grievance claims against the District of Kitimat does not support the union's claims. There are not numerous complaints to the Workers' Compensation Board for unsafe practices, and there have been no complaints to the BC Human Rights Tribunal regarding the exploitation of women. The union claims these don't exist because the workers were afraid of retribution or other consequences. Well, isn't one of the reasons to belong to a union is to have the union stand up for your rights when you, for whatever reason, aren't able to do so yourself? What has the union been doing to represent our district workers for the last 30 years? And as well, the opportunity has been there for 3 years for the union to meet with council to discuss issues of importance. Wouldn't a rational person think that issues of such magnitude would have earned a phone call to alert council well in advance of negotiations so that every effort could have been made to avert a strike? Our workforce is not out on the picket line because of our offer. It is a solid package meant to bring employees back to work. The previous collective agreement expired December 31st, 2014. Many organizations negotiate for months past expiry before reaching an agreement without strike action. The union made the decision to go on strike. You cannot fix 30 years of problems in 2 to 3 months. The union has also stated...
Obviously, the strike is not all about the money.
Oh, well, hold on. The union has also stated that our negotiating team has adamantly said no to a number of union's demands. Is this true? Absolutely yes. The union demand of parity with RTA wages is non-negotiable. We will not handcuff future councils and taxpayers to wage increases that are out of their control. RTA is RTA. Hey, we gave you guys the respect to hear you out and not interrupt you. Do the same.
You waited for the end to say this shit.
We get the last word here. You get your last word out of it.
No, we get the last word.
RTA is RTA. The District of Kitimat is the District of Kitimat. You cannot compare an industry to a municipality. If workers want RTA wages, and we would be sorry to see them go, then they'd have to apply at RTA. Again, our current wage offer ensures that without any relation to RTA, our municipal workers will remain in the top 2 of all BC municipalities. One other non-negotiable demand is that of a minimum number of full-time positions. This absolutely undermines management's ability to manage. Our compromise was to offer a minimum number of full-time employees. This would allow management to efficiently manage employees while still guaranteeing a minimum number of jobs. We believe this is a fair compromise. Also, the union's claim that the settlement offer of February 25th was hidden from council is not true.
Bullshit.
The union and district finished negotiating that day just before noon. A special meeting of council was held at 5:30 the same evening to discuss the settlement offer along with the 72-hour strike notice filed that day. Council was fully updated on changes included in the settlement offer. The misunderstanding from the union comes from the fact that no member of council asked for a copy of the document. But make no mistake, we were definitely aware of changes from previous negotiations that very same evening. On April 6, Mr. McElrath publicly stated in a YouTube video the union's option for mediation in this process. Council will consider this option tonight following this public meeting. In closing, I believe in my fellow councillors, our administration, and most importantly, our municipal workers, and believe that we can work together for the betterment of Kitimat.
What happened?
Good speech, Ron.
No, we're done.
No, we're done.
No, we're done. Sorry, no, it isn't.
We're done.
We're done for now. We've gone almost an
The
hour.
only thing that you guaranteed is this strike is not going to end with that statement. You guys should all resign. You're killing this town. You've been killing it for 20 years. You're in trouble, Mr.
President.
Philip, you are well aware of these issues in the city. When you sought myself out and my friend out, you're well aware of these issues, Philip.
2 minutes?
Yeah, 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes.
Listen, Phil, about 3.5, 4 years ago, I was at City Hall. I'm fine here, everybody can hear me. I was at the Union Hall, myself, Virgil, Jeremy, and I believe Marty. We were having a discussion with Walter McClellan. He said, anybody who sticks their head out of the crowd will have it chopped off. Now, if that isn't a clear statement from administration to us as the union representatives at the table, I don't know what else I can say to you, Phil. Those issues aren't brought up because someone has threatened to cut off our heads. So, explain that to me.
That is why you have a labor.
That is why Walter McClellan is no longer here. Remember that, that was you.
There are avenues to go through if you're
Yeah.
threatened.
Yeah, you knew about all these issues years ago. You were told about these issues years ago. You knew about it.
You knew about them, Phil.
That's why we
spent
were.
4 hours with you. 4 hours. 5 hours with Edwin. Both of you guys searched myself out and Jeremy out. I told you about these problems. You were well aware of them.
Resign, buddy.
We'll take a 5-minute recess.
Resign.
Thankfully, Philip, I didn't vote for you.
Thank you.
And you were my friend once upon a time. But I can hold my head high because I didn't vote for you.
Yeah, yeah.